Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to change the 12-volt socket, or the cigarette lighter as some people call it, from constantly on to being ignition controlled. I'll be making this modification to my C6 Corvette. From what I understand, American car brands typically have the 12-volt auxiliary socket always powered, even when the car is turned off. This is not ideal if you want to leave a device plugged in like a dash cam or a photo radar detector. Other car brands that are not American typically have designed it so that the 12-volt socket is only powered when the car is running, or in accessory mode, and the power is cut off when the car is turned off. I'm sitting in the driver's seat now, and so in the center console is where my 12-volt socket is located. I'm going to plug in this USB adapter just to show you that power's on even though the car is off. So the first thing I need to do is locate my fuse box for that auxiliary socket. And my car is located under the passenger seat footwell. As I pull this down, it shows a fuse diagram. So I'll need to find the fuse location for that auxiliary socket. And when I look closer here, it's on the right side and right here. Okay, so it looks like there's actually a cover that covers over top of that fuse box area. To take this cover off, looks like there's two metal clips, one on the bottom and one at the top. I'll need to put the camera down and use two hands for this. I find that I needed to push the metal clips outwards away from the cover to be able to pull it off. It's a bit of a tight spot and it took me a minute to get it out. Looking back at the fuse diagram, we've located the auxiliary power in this location. Now I'm going to locate the windshield wiper fuse location. I'll tell you why here in a second. Now looking at the actual fuse box, I've located the fuses for the aux socket and the windshield wiper. When we look at the fuse for the auxiliary socket, the fuse has two prongs, one going to the top terminal and one going to the bottom terminal. The bottom terminal is always hot, which means there's always power running to it. When you look at the windshield wiper, it's only hot when the car is running or when it's in accessory mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the circuit so that I'm not connecting my fuse into that bottom terminal of the auxiliary socket. I'm going to tap it into the windshield wiper. That way we'll only have power when the car is turned on or when it's in accessory mode, just like the windshield wiper. To do this, I ordered these two items from Amazon. The one on the left is called an add a circuit fuse tap adapter for mini blade type fuses. The one on the right is called a fuse tap kit for mini fuses. I'm going to open up this package to see what's all in here. So here we got the fuse tap adapter. It's got the two prongs and two spots for two fuses. This one end has a blue connection end for another wire. We're not going to use that end, I'll show you later. So we have some spare fuses here, several different amps. This one is a 7.5 amp fuse. This one here is a 10 amp. This one here is 5 amp, and this one's a 15 amp. All right, let's check out this other product, the mini fuse tapper kit. So I'll open it up here. Got two different colored connection ends. Looks like there's for different gauge wire sizes. You've got some spade ends here. It's got the same mini fuse end on it. Looks like these two go together pretty well. Takes a little bit of force to push it in all the way, but we'll use that as a connection end. Going back to the fuse tap adapter, I'm gonna insert two 10 amp fuses into this end here, into the terminals. They should just push right in. Okay, so I got both of those pressed in now, and it should just look like this. On the other end, it has a blue connector for another wire to crimp onto. We're not going to use this, so I'm just going to cut this part off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the sleeve off to expose the metal wires behind it. There we go. Now I'm just going to twist the ends here just so it stays in one piece. I'm going to put this other end through it and crimp it on to make it a solid connection. There you go. So I'm going to put in the blade on the end of it. It's a bit of a tight fit. You just push in. I'm going to push it in real good here. And so now it should look like this. So going back to the fuse box here in my car, I just noticed that I have an actual fuse puller that the car comes with, which is pretty neat. This will be helpful in removing the fuses. So here I'm just going to remove the fuse for the auxiliary socket. Clicks right in and pulls out fairly easily. It's a good tool. Now I'm going to get at the windshield wiper fuse. Get that one pulled out here. There we go. So I got both these fuses pulled out. Now I just want to show you on the end of the fuse that I pulled out what the ends look like. So this end type is called the mini for this type of fuse, and it matches the same shape as the end of the blade that I have. So here I'm going to put in to the top terminal of the auxiliary socket. You need to be careful that you don't put it into that bottom terminal. We don't want that plugged into the always hot terminal. And I'm going to put the other end of my fuse adapter into the windshield wiper terminal. It took me a minute to get it in there because I couldn't really see what I was doing, and it was a really tight spot to get into. But I got it in, and it should look like this. Now I'm back in the driver's seat of my car. I'm going to test it out. So I'm going to plug this USB adapter into the 12-volt socket, and it looks like there's no power going to it. The car is off. So I'm going to turn on the accessory mode. See that there it is, power running to it. So that's good. Now one other thing I'm going to check to make sure my windshield wiper works. Windshield wipers are running, so everything's working as it should. If I turn this off, then the power should also cut off to that socket, and there it is. Perfect. Now the last thing is I'm going to put the cover back on, make sure that fits on with no issues. And there we go. Fits as it should. Clipped on. Everything looks good. I can put the footboard back up, carpet over it, and we're good to go.